So this is what it's like to walk down my street, or one of my streets. Yeah. Some cool things happening, around here. Cause you see like old architecture. This was like up an apartment building from like, I don't want to say, out of respect, I don't want to give specific location because you never know. You want to respect people's privacy. But that style, it's more kind of like 1980s, 1970s. I'm not an architecture major. Somebody out there like, oh yeah, I could tell you specifically what the name of the architect. Like, never studied that art, but you know what I mean, right? You look at this. It's beautiful, man. I like. Maybe it's important because I've seen so many houses be destroyed, Until most people who don't give a shit about architecture, they're like, whatever, it's just a stupid house. But you notice the new houses being built, they have a different look to them. They have a very different look. For better or for worse, I ain't saying I ain't giving meaning to that look. Like, look, this is beautiful, man. Look at this. Like, this is beautiful. And this will probably be a house they're trying to buy. Look at that beautiful tree, And, me and my family, we once had a house, and unfortunately, we lost it. It's something that it happens. You can't do anything about it. Hey, but for whatever reasons, it happened, and it sucks, though, because you have really strong memories in that geographical location. You could drive right by it, and you want to probably go inside and recollect your childhood, but the house is no longer yours, unfortunately. And if you were to do that, you'll be trespassing, breaking and entering, and you get arrested. So, like as I was saying, it's interesting. I think it's important to document the architecture in the neighborhood because all these houses are being destroyed for whatever reason you want to give it. The people like, I kind of know the story. People like work really hard, were gardeners, and they bought a house here and they got lucky, because this used to be a ghetto back in the day, guys. This used to be a lot of violence. I know people that died here, unfortunately. So it's something that and it's interesting to see it become a fucking really, really expensive neighborhood. Like, it's interesting, I ain't putting words to it. I'm just reporting what I'm seeing, I think you could easily say it's better because less crime, or it's worse because you can't afford to live here anymore. You have to move out, and it's a more, it's complicated, I don't know, man. You could go any direction with that, but just trying to maybe say interesting things about what's happening in my community because how fast the world is changing. I think it's important to document your surroundings, because previous years, before we had this kind of advanced technology, you had to write words, and it was even illegal, if you were black in the U.S. or any person of color to a matter of fact, you couldn't even read, coronavirus, people had to celebrate their graduation. Maybe it made it a little bit more special, because when I graduated from college, nobody gave a shit about it, Only my mom and my dad showed up. Because we graduated on a Wednesday, and a summer's day was like 105 degrees. My sister's like, I gotta go work. And they're right, you gotta pay your bills, And so maybe something good came out of this, maybe something in terms of people actually stopped and celebrated, as opposed to like, you know what, I can't go because I have to work, And I think maybe you appreciate something small as a high school graduation. People look down on high school diplomas, If I had a high school diploma hanging in my office, you'd probably laugh at me. Like, you're like, why are you so proud? All right, if I had my middle school diploma, you think I'm crazy. Yeah, when I have my, and if I have my elementary school diploma, now you're like, what the fuck? Hey, but those are real accomplishments, man. Those are real accomplishments. I think as you're older, you're like, oh, you're so stupid, elementary school. Dude, a little third grader could tell you the difference between a trapezoid and a parallelogram. I bet you most of you guys don't even know what that is. You have to look it up on Wikipedia right now. Pause it if you want to. I like that. Khan Academy does that. Free education, right? But, you can't really see my face. There you go. But, coronavirus. I know, guys. It is what it is, And I just felt it was important to document things, things that are very important to share with the world. And, this is a side of LA that, when you see the movies, you don't really see this movement. You don't really see these stories. And to tell you the truth, even people in LA don't even know about this area. It's so minuscule, when I go to the particular fine details, you know, I feel like you know, there's a lot of Orthodox Jews. There's the around my neighborhood, you know, Crestview. There's the Orthodox Jews, Punjabs, you know, Punjabi, the Sikh religion. There's the Baha'i Center, you know. There's this really interesting Christian church next to the Kaiser Hospital. Oh man, those guys. Oh man. Scary, man. But whatever, man. Don't get into it. But they're smart. They're very smart. So don't go like, oh, they're not dumb. Oh, they're very smart. They're very, very smart. Okay, but I digress. You know, it's a very diverse population. You know, there's Latinos here. Like, I'm Mexican American, and my mom's Honduran, so I'm Mexican American, Honduran. I always forget the Honduran part, but I have to always mention it. Mexican American, Honduran. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of Mexicans here in LA. Yeah, man. Hey, but when I lived in South Africa, I was like, what the fuck are you? Umlungu. Yeah, man. I'm white. Supposedly, I've been told I'm Mexican my whole life. I'm brown, and then when they told me you're white in South Africa, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not white. I can't be. That's not even possible. Just for like 1 second, I believed it. You know, just for they were like, no. Yeah, because they have. I guess their binary is a little different. You know, I lived in Durban, and well, specifically, I lived in Phoenix, which is an Indians from India population, you know. So I lived there for a little bit, and I worked in KwaMashu, you know. KwaMashu. I really like going to KwaMashu. So I remember I'll work there and I'll get on the. See, it's been such a long time that I forgot the details, but I just remember people like, hey. And I used to get up on Esotueri. I can't even say it now. I know you guys, you don't even know what I'm saying, but to somebody they're like, Esotueri, like it was church, house of worship. So that's like, I was like, Esotueri, like, even my Zulu friends are like, you're still not saying it right. Like, I'm trying so hard. Well, it doesn't make any sense, but I guess to the average person, they're like, wow, you speak Easy Zulu. Like, no, not really. I just learned so little, but yeah, still, it's a beautiful language. If you get it, I think that's the Bantu languages and the Khoisan, the San. I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying the people who click, you know, the click languages. You know, they have very. That's my favorite languages, man. I want to learn them, but it's not easy at all. I heard there was like an anthropologist who actually tried to learn their language and developed like a ball in his throat. You have to literally alter your. That's a badass language. You have to admit. I mean, I learned French in high school, and I like French. You know, French was nice. You know, I think it's a beautiful language, but that's it doesn't alter your physical. You know, I don't know. I digress. But as I was saying, it's important to document your community. You know, because that way, you know, I could give you an example. You know, there's a synagogue in East LA where all the old essays are. You know, in East LA, or all the maybe I'm stereotyping. All the East LA people think probably all white people live here. Like, hey, I live here, man. when the riots happened, they were like, yeah, eat the rich. Like, motherfucker, I live here. I'm not rich. Don't eat it. Oh, shit, man. That just made me laugh. Because when people come to my neighborhood, man, who are from South Central, like, damn, Mario, you live in a nice spot. Like, you only knew people die here too, man. Just because it's nice doesn't mean it's probably this. Well, they got it a lot safer, but let's just say it's gotten a lot less. The people who live there are not here, basically, you know, or it's changing faster than you know. I mean, you could say gentrification, but I feel gentrification is very complex because it manifests itself differently in every city. Like, gentrification in LA won't be similar to gentrification in New York, you know, for so many reasons. But, man, I get really sad, you know, when I see a house that I always love walking by, and it's not there anymore, you know? And for whatever reason, you know, some of these people are I know, and they're like, you know what, I worked so hard and I want to sell my house so I could enjoy my last years because I worked so hard to buy this house. Oh, man. Because look, they paid $200,000 to buy a house. Let's say that's actually a little high, man. I know my grandfather probably could buy property in Venice for like $40,000. but he chose not to because Venice was very different than it was now. You know, it was the ghetto by the beach. You know, it was complex. You know, and the people who live now, I could tell you that I don't know, it's complex in that in itself, but a lot of people there have a lot of income and a lot of this people. It's so complex, guys. You have to study it, because then I could tell you my opinion, but then people say, oh, that's good that happened to the community, you know, it improved, and I don't want to talk shit without them being present, you know. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's easy to bash an opinion, rant about it for like an hour, and then like, yeah, I'm right. You know, I think it's also key to have somebody like, no, let me tell you something different. You know, I value that kind of sparring of intellect, you know. I think it's necessary for growth, and you know, I've tried so hard to make videos, and I always had things to say, you know. I never knew how to express it, you know. And for me, I pay people money. I don't know, man. Maybe I didn't pay people money. I thought about paying people money, but then I told myself, nah, I could do it. You know, people wanted me to pay them money to record them. Like, dude, all you're doing is pressing the recording button, you know? It's so, you have to pay them money to press the recording button. And you know what? I know it's an art, mixing and mastering, and I don't mean, because there's somebody always listening like, no, motherfucker, it's actually really complex, you know? And you're right. But for me, I felt like, you know, listening to Robert Johnson sing his songs, like, yeah, I wish they would have had a good studio, but fuck it, I still could listen to Robert Johnson, you know? At the Crossroads. That's a good song. You guys should listen to it on YouTube. But Robert Johnson at the Crossroads, right? So look at it, like, I don't give a fuck, you know? So I know, like, this technology, I bought a Google Pixel 4 XL. You know, it's good stuff. Like, hey, paid $1,000 for it. You know, I said, fuck it. You know, let me not get that cheap phone. I don't want to pound, you know. It's still really advanced, you know. I ain't gonna lie. The cheap phone you laugh at, I could say the Moto E is really advanced, man. I'm just saying, I'm not putting that down either, you know. There's some people who use that phone I had and make success. So that's just maybe an excuse that I was putting, you know. Maybe I needed something sparkly and shiny to, like, want to get myself started, you know. But yeah, man. So this is part of the community. You're leaving now. Like, there's more Jewish people live here. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, it's cool. You know, I always felt living in this community is some sort of weird social experiment. Because you get such a diverse range of people from different populations. You know, like, I have friends here that are from Iran. You know, and they're not even. And there's Jewish Iranians, but the ones that I'm friends with, they're mostly from the Baha'i faith. You know, they're very open about including people. You know, I never had Iranian food. You know, I thought that was very diverse. You know, and what else? Look at me, man. I'm from Mexico. No, my dad's from Mexico. My mom's from Honduras, and I was born here. You know, so I feel like I contribute to that diversity. You know, but it's very. You know, once you cross the street, Robertson, the community changes. You know, it's what's that? A country something. It's like a country. It's very rich. It's one of the richest communities in the city. You know. And I've gone there, man. It's actually really pretty. You know, they have their own little private security forces and stuff like that. Yeah, man. But it is what it is, guys. All right.